Namaste. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and today I'm here doing roundtable readings with Jonathan Dailey. And
Aloha.
hello. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Jonathan.
Of course, my pleasure.
It's been so much fun doing readings on most Saturdays with different students, fellow tarot readers, and just connecting with all of you. And so Jonathan, you are in Hawaii. Which island are you on?
I live on the island of Maui.
Mhm.
It's gorgeous and probably the best place to be trapped for a pandemic, I
Yeah, I would love to be trapped there.
think.
Yeah. So most of the people in the chat will know who you are because we tend to travel in the same circles in Tarot Tube. But just tell us a little bit about your tarot journey and where that began and where you are now.
Okay. Well, my tarot journey kind of started when my aunt handed me a deck when I was 13. It was the one JJ Swiss, and I had no idea how to read pip decks. So I kind of felt a little lost and didn't know even where to start. But then that summer, I got to partake in a class, which was like a new age class, and the teacher taught us tarot and pendulums and runes and crystals and energy work and past life regression, and like the list just goes on. And that
At,
kind of
at public school,
no, this was at a summer camp.
at a summer camp. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Cool.
It was an arts and music camp. I know that like he had to get special permission to even offer the class, and but I mean there was quite a crowd of us that took the class, and so that was my first past life regression, and my first real introduction to this whole world. I mean, it was kind of in the periphery anyway because of my aunt and my mom being like the original hippies, and um, then I just kind of like dived in. In high school, I was giving readings to friends. I used to do past life regressions just from what he had done for us, and I just progressed from there. I guess in my 20s when I was in college is when I really got like really involved. I started the Pagan Alliance network with some pagan friends, and Pan for short. And that was a lot of fun because it was like in college, and we were all just like learning from each other and
That's
like
so
learning.
cool. Where did you go to college?
I went to school in Northern California at a college called Humboldt State University, and I got a degree in anthropology there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then I ended up moving on and going to acupuncture school after that. So, yeah,
Also in California?
also in California, in Santa Cruz, California, a block away from the beach. So my qigong classes were down on the beach, and it was just amazing. And we all took our lunch down to the beach, and yeah, it was just an
What a
amazing experience.
what a dream. What a dream. So you went from beach to beach. How did you end up in Hawaii?
So after I graduated with my degree in acupuncture, there's a national board, and then there's the California board. California is the only state that has its own board. And the way it's set, I have bad test anxiety, and the way that that test is set up is not good for people with bad test anxiety. There's like 8 checkpoints to get into the room. You can't wear certain kinds of clothing. If you're a woman and it's that time of month, you can't even bring your own product. They'll provide the product for you.
Wow.
Because because you might have the answers in your tampon. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Like you can't wear a hoodie, you can't wear a shawl, yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I have bad test anxiety to begin with, and to be put in that situation where it's like you have to sit for an hour, and then you get yelled at about even taking the test, and then there's like people walking up and down like watching you the whole time, and if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to like raise your hand. The proctor comes and takes the test. You go to a back table. You have a little sheet where they sign out like when you go to the bathroom, and they keep that until you come back from the bathroom and there's someone in the bathroom watching everyone go to the bathroom. It was ridiculous.
Oh,
So
wow.
I realized there's 49 other states I could practice in. I had passed the nationals and I kept trying to take the California boards and failing because of the test anxiety. And so we tried moving up to Oregon, and we just I don't know, we just couldn't handle winter. So my husband suggested we move out to Hawaii, and I was like, really? Well, I don't know. So he brought me out to Maui on a trip, and it was probably the most magical trip of my life. It was just amazing. Like we get off on the from the airport, get our rental car, drive, and like it feels amazing already. And then we get to a hotel room, drop off our stuff, just enough time to like run down to the beach to see sunset. And just as we step on the beach, there's a mama whale and a baby whale breaching.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, okay, I think I could live here. And it was just like progressed from there. Like every day was more magical than last. And like we saw this amazing moon rainbow that was just like beyond words. And like my last thing that I did that trip was like I was snorkeling. I was surrounded by sea turtles, listening to the whales sing, and I'm just like, okay, I have to live here. So we made the big move, and we've been here. That move was 11 years ago now.
Wow. And so had your husband lived in Hawaii before?
No,
No.
mm.
Okay.
It was just one of those things we wanted to stay on the West Coast, but he was down in the Pacific Northwest. We couldn't go back to California. There wasn't really anywhere else to go but Hawaii. So
Okay.
that's where
And
we
but
ended
you
up.
didn't have to recertify for acupuncture in Hawaii.
What I needed to do was get a state license, which
Okay.
being having already passed the national boards, it was pretty easy. I got the state license in Oregon pretty easily, Washington, uh, Hawaii, and then we did have a couple people tell us, "Don't let your son grow up there. He'll be like beat up on because he's so blonde and everything." Um, so we attempted to move back to the mainland for a minute, and it just did not feel like home. Like I was like, get us home. I want to go back home. I don't want to be here. So, and it didn't help that we moved to Washington State with 9 months of gloom.
Well, yeah. I live in British Columbia, Jonathan. So
Hmm.
yeah,
You know
I know
exactly.
exactly. I know exactly. I'm on the west coast of BC, so it's
Mhm.
wet, and I'm in a little wet pocket here, although it's called the Sunshine Coast.
Right.
And sometimes when people are researching places to travel in northeastern Australia, they end up landing on Airbnbs and stuff on in where I live. So there's Sunshine Coast, British Columbia, and Sunshine Coast in Australia, which is a very different climate.
Very different.
Very different.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty amazing. No.
Yeah. So we're here today. And so Jonathan and I had a brief chat yesterday about decks. And oh, I wanted to ask you about your Llewellyn Hall.
Oh
You
yes.
you did a big shop. They had a sale.
They had their mob on sale. Was it last weekend? Weekend before that, something like that. It wasn't that long ago, and it was like 35% off
Nice.
everything. Right. So I got 2 books and 2 decks. I don't think I have any of them up here.
Hmm.
I got the Jack o' Lantern Tarot, which is very interesting. It's the same artist that did the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot. And then I got the Golden Art Nouveau, which I've been wanting for years. I just never got around to it. I don't even know why I never got around to it. So I'm like, okay, throw it in. And then I got the 2 books I got were Psychic Witch by Matt Aaron and Tarot by the Moon, which is that new book. Authors escaped me at the moment, but that one's cool because each chapter is devoted to each of the full moons, and then there's different rituals and spreads, and
Nice.
it's a great book.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll see some of those on your channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking briefly about fall decks, and we've decided that today for readings, we're going to each use one of the decks from the Book of Shadows Tarot. And so Jonathan is going to use So Below, and I'm going to use So Above. And in this deck, if you aren't familiar with it, right, it comes with, a complete deck above and below. So the intention here is that we're looking at, and you can interpret this in different ways. I don't know about you, Jonathan, but when I'm looking above and below in a reading, there's so many different potential layers, some being very, deep and esoteric, and others can be quite mundane as well too. So
Right.
we'll lean into the artwork and because below below can mean DNA. It could mean, the root of the problem. It could mean so many things, right? So,
Well, I also noticed that the So Below, even though there's like fantastical creatures in a lot of the images, there's just like it's like every day. I mean, the Fool is just a woman walking in a park. It's just like everyday events.
yeah, I really like that one. I haven't worked with this one that much, but we'll see. And what do you associate with above, Jonathan?
Um, as above, I would associate more with like the divine realms, like esoteric knowledge, just like the etheria, like the non-physical stuff. Whereas the So Below is more about how that ephemeral stuff is reflected in the mundane and how it like blossoms in the 3D world.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how I'm seeing the deck.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just kind of go with and I'm just checking because the court cards are different in this deck.
Hmm.
And
Right. The So Below is closer to just what we could consider a regular tarot deck, and the As Above is a little more esoteric, a little more just like divine figures and
Mhm. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking something before we get going. So please go ahead and start posting your questions. We're gonna pause and say hi to everybody. And I'm just double checking the court card.
oh, which one is which?
Well, I know the element is the elemental the night energy?
I think the elemental is the page.
Is the page? Okay. I'm just looking at that. I cannot find it quickly, but you know what? I know how to read the tarot, so we're just going to go with it. Okay. So let's go back. Say hi to everybody because Sharon was
Oh,
here. Sharon
I,
was here so early.
I know what the quartz is. So it's elemental, maiden, mother, crone.
Cool. Elemental, maiden, mother, crone.
Hmm.
Okay. Sharon. Sharon was here so early, half an hour before the show. Gerald, welcome. Thank you for being here. And Donna, namaste. Good morning. No early worms. Quinoa, pesto, and cauliflower. That sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. Mary Beth, good morning. And Joel, good evening to you. In Sweden, Mimi's Tarot and Gems. Mimi, I don't know where you are, but welcome. Let us know where you are. Dee, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, namaste. Colleen, hello. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that see these weird, like scry, if there's a few special emojis on my channel for members, and so when I highlight them on StreamYard, it doesn't show up as an emoji. So yeah.
Scry.
Amy, hello, welcome, good morning, Amy Lee. H. de la Lune. It looks like H. de la Lune is our first question. So let's hold some light and love around H. de la Lune. Hello, Sadhana and Jonathan. I would like some clarity on why Oliver pulled away from me all of a sudden. Okay, we can do that.
These decks are still stiff from being so new.
I was just taking a breath to check in empathically. I feel your anxiety here, Age to Laloon. Not so much in the gut, but in the heart space. And so I just want to share my compassion.
Okay. That's reflecting that feeling.
Wow. Okay. I've got a really big reading, Jonathan, so.
Yeah. Well, I pulled 3 cards.
Yeah, me too.
The cards I ended up getting was, I got the Queen of Pentacles here, where you see the happy couple walking. Then I got the Knight of Wands, where you see this woman casting a magic spell. And the last one is the Two of Pentacles, where she's baking. So this is really telling me it's not about him. I don't think it's I'm seeing more about you having internal work to do, and it's almost like he's a distraction.
Yeah, I really feel that as well too. I'm wondering if you dove into the relationship to avoid dealing with the stuff that is in the process of transformation. So the first card is the Ace of Cups, which you would think, would lead to romance and so forth. Second card is the Tower. Okay, so what I'm looking at here. So you see what I'm saying? I'm wondering if there was an avoidance of the work to be done by exactly that, diving into the emotions of the relationship. The third card I pulled is it's the Beltane card. It's the Lover's card. And if we look at so we have a 2. These cards are very paired. They're really, really paired. When I look at 16 plus 6, so I've got 16 plus 6, like 2 6s. I'm going right here, right? So I'm going to the heart space. I'm going to center of the tree of life, that whole union. This is about you. The question, let's go back to the question, Jonathan. Why did Oliver pull away
from me?
I'm feeling that perhaps he was guided away, or there was, it just, I'm not sure if Oliver is, Oliver sensed that this was not the relationship for him at this time, because you,
Well, I do notice in this Queen of Pentacles image here that, like, he's trying to explain something and she's just got eyes for him, right? It's almost like she can't even hear what he's saying because she's just so infatuated. But which is interesting because this is the Queen of Pentacles, right? You'd think she would be the one in charge.
But she's distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's something about the infatuation being the distraction.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I see this Knight of Wands doing this spell work as a representation of working on internal spiritual work, followed by then you cook up the life you want, right? After you've done the internal work. But you can't cook until you've done the internal work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting here.
Okay. So this, and with the tower showing up, there's probably more than one thing that needs to come to the surface at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So to give yourself permission, it's okay to be on your own for a while you work through these challenges.
Right.
Right.
Right. Like the first one is a happy couple in the garden, and then the next two are just a woman working on herself, doing her own thing. So I think that's why he's taking a step back, is to give you space to do your own work.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And even if he doesn't recognize that in his conscious mind,
Right.
he's being guided for some reason to step away
Mhm.
for your greater good. Yeah. Thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you.
see it as being an ending. I just see it more of like giving you room to do your work.
Mhm. Yeah. Because I've got the tower in between the Ace of Cups and the Lovers.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely work to do. Okay. Thank you, H. Let's go to Colleen. Colleen would like some guidance regarding balancing a full-time teaching position and continuing my spiritual path work. Mm.
I have to thank you, Sadhana. You have there was a tip I picked up by watching you do readings, and that is never just picking up the cards and throwing them back in the deck, but putting the deck onto the cards and then picking up the different piles. Yeah.
I do that also for the person on the other side of the table,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the next reading, or if I'm doing multiple readings, people know that if the same cards appear, it's very random.
Right. Well, and I like it because I feel like it's like it clears energy by doing that, and knocking too.
Mm-hmm. Hello there, Andrew. No, I have not read with Jonathan before. This is our first time reading together.
We've been on each other's channels while the other one's reading, but us reading together, yeah, this is the first time.
Yeah, first time. All right, so let's hold some light and love around Colleen. Yeah, being a full-time teacher is very, very stressful. There's a lot of responsibilities. And so continuing spiritual path work while working full-time, I feel like I can answer this question without the cards, but
Right. Well, I just had a jumper too.
I want to say one thing, and that is, Colleen, to release expectations. And there's an opportunity here to, if you can find contentment, Santosha, around that special hour you have on Saturday morning, or maybe Tuesday and Thursday morning, you're able to get up at 5:30 and have a half hour to yourself. You know what I mean? Like to lower the expectations while you transition into this new job, right? What was your jumper, Jonathan?
My jumper was the Four of Swords, which is interesting because it shows a woman sitting in a very busy office smoking lavender while there's four sprites sleeping around her. So I think it's a big reminder that even with the full-time teaching and the spiritual path, you also need to make sure to take time for rest.
Mhm.
Because then the next one that popped out is the Ace of Swords. How can you have fresh thoughts if you're exhausted, right? How can you wield your thoughts in the way they're meant to be if you're exhausted? And again, we got the Sprite. And then the final card is the Five of Wands, and here's that woman in the office arguing. And it's interesting how like a lot of the color has like seeped away from the image. The main color is the salamanders. So this is telling me you need to like take time to rest, to really make up your mind, because you're so conflicted about which direction to go in. So, but there's office scenes here, so I feel like work can offer you something, is what this is saying, like a new way of thinking, a new way of being. But you got to remember to rest and not get into conflict about every little thing.
Maybe keeping a little bit of separation between the two would be healthy.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the 3 cards I have here all are deep in ritual. They're all deep in ritual. So just looking at them as a big picture, I feel that once a week, like I said Saturday morning, but whatever that time is, it's about the quality and the commitment. I feel like Spirit wants you to have the commitment, but the quality is really like these are deep ritual cards. I have the 10 of water, the 14 and the 17, and so I'll show them to you, but um, they're all engaged. They're all engaged in ritual. So the star was 3rd. And I'll tell you what the second card was the Temperance card,
Oh,
which is a Moke.
okay. So look, they're both holding daggers. Oh, gotta pick up that sword, it looks like, to find that balance.
This is a really gorgeous card.
Mm-hmm. You said the third one was the star?
Right. So I've got Temperance and the Star. And, when I look at these 2 cards, when you look at these 2 cards side by side, people always want to compare these 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I want to, I want to stay with what the energy of what I'm looking at here and not go too far and wide, but they both speak to connection and balance. And there's something about this star card, and I'm hearing the word release. So part of your, so part of maintaining your sanity, part of not feeling like you're losing or giving up is that balance between release and filling your cup. So in your special time, in your sacred time during the week, and maybe it's not every week. Maybe I've got these majors that have these Sabbats on them because you are shifting your energy and just focusing on the Sabbats. And that is enough, to have something, a little small practice that's going on, but anything big that is happening is only happening 8 times a year, which takes a big load off if you've been doing a regular practice many times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of goes with the Four of Swords of making sure that you're resting too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't burn the candle at both ends.
So, full-time teaching a therapeutic class. Okay. So that can be medicine to you as well too. And hopefully there's been some other nuances in these pictures that is this art that is spoken to you. Okay, I'm going to go to, thank you very much, Colleen, for sharing your question. Blue Sea. Poi or POI, what should we say here? Guidance on the current energies between me and
my person of interest.
Person of interest?
Maybe.
Okay. It's so funny how we have become this culture of acronyms.
I know, right? We can't say anything. I gotta shorten it as much as possible. Part of it is the fact that we have certain platforms, they only give you so many characters to write with.
Yes, that's so annoying too.
That's what's caused these let's shorten things into just the first letters.
Yeah. All right, Blue Sea.
A little both like,
Yes, that's all you get. That's all you get, Lucy, is That's all you get.
It's interesting. So you pulled the Temperance last time. This is this version of Temperance. It's like
Let me, I can't see it, so I'm just going to make you bigger.
Yeah, so it's this like romantic evening meal, candlelight, wine, there's dessert waiting. So it's a very interesting take on Temperance. But it's also very interesting because it pops out for this question about Blue Sea and person of interest. So there's obviously some romance going on there. The next thing I pulled out was the Ten of Pentacles. So this idea of like creating a family together. And then the final one was the Two of Pentacles, which is, you're still cooking up the plans, I guess. But here, this one is like the individual person, where the other ones is, I don't know, I feel more like it's a connection, a creation of a family, but it's still.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah. So Two Pentacles means you're still building, still creating. But this is the middle card, that Ten of Pentacles. So.
Okay. My cards are very much in the dream realm. And I'm a little confused about this. It feels like, so when I took a breath, I did a quick check-in. I felt like you were not grounded. It felt like you were actually felt like you were floating above the earth. So you've got what cards do you have? Again, 10 of Pentacles. What was the first one?
But Temperance, 10 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles. So
Okay.
it's like there's these dream scenarios happening that like really like is being focused on. And I think it's because she's so focused on creating those things into reality that it's not like she's just stuck in that dream realm.
Okay. So, yes, reality check. What does that mean?
I guess for me, it's that what this is screaming at me is like, are you sure that this, like, you're so focused on this being the romance? This is the, like, the one, right? That you're so focused on creating that, like, dream family that you're not right here paying attention to the recipe. Right? There's a little imp adding water or something.
Okay, I want to show you the Ace of Air in this deck. This is the dream, and there's all these material things floating around,
Mhm.
which really speaks to the Pentacles cards that you've got. This is air. This is the Ace of Air.
Right.
And I'm confused. Like, this is like,
Well, with the house and the car and everything, it makes me think again of this like creating the happy family dream, the happy home, all the material wealth of the happy family. That's what I was getting from that.
and you've got 10 of Pentacles, right? I've got 10 of Pentacles too.
For your second card,
Yeah.
oh my god, we both got so both got 10 of Pentacles for the central card. That's interesting. Huh.
So I go from an ace of air to a 10 of Pentacles. I feel that the nourishment, the be here, be now. That's what I want to say. Be here and be now. Be really present with the relationship. My other card is the 12. So that's why I want to encourage you to it feels good. Just be present. It feels good. Just make sure you're present and you're not in the sky, in the dreams.
Right.
Or maybe this is also an invitation to discuss your dreams. To discuss your dreams with your person of interest, to make sure that you are both on the same page and you both are wanting the same things. Wouldn't that be interesting if it's, I this to me, this almost looks like a blue sea imposing her material wishes on POI.
Right. She's the one cooking up the dreams.
So it's important that you share your intentions with your
Mhm.
POI.
I agree. Another thing that just jumped out at me is so there she is cooking, and then in this one, it's like there she is as the old woman surrounded by her family. So I don't know if you can see that. There she is cooking as a young woman, and then there she is as an elderly woman with her husband, her kids, and her kids' kids. So yeah, it's definitely this dream of the perfect family is kind of like taking control of the whole situation. That's what I'm getting here.
Hmm. So just make sure you're sharing that with your
Mm.
POI. Okay.
I mean, there's some strong love between them.
Yes.
So, but like Sana said, it's just about sharing your dreams and not keeping them to yourself. Right? sharing them allows you to create them together.
Okay, so I guess we're going to go to Gerald next. Yay. Hello, Gerald. There was a there's just a, can we just finish? So D says this, the POI, do they know Blue Sea is interested? Well,
That is a very important question.
but I don't think we got feedback from Blue Sea.
We just got some. Yes, I tend to leave a lot of things unsaid.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Blue Sea. Let's go to Gerald. I'd like insight about Live Your Light class I'm taking. I'm 4 weeks into an 8-week series. That's Amber's class. So, Gerald, are you looking for the direction that Live Your Light is going to take you, or what are you reading into that question? Oh, your son is there. Hi, Daddy. Do you need to go away for a minute? Okay.
No, it's okay.
Good morning hugs. Okay.
It was Apollo. Max is Deanne's son. Huh? You want me to use that for what? Pulling cards. He is handing me this and saying I need to use it to help pull my cards.
Oh, that's so cute, Apollo.
Thank you, monkey.
Jonathan, Donna, I hope Jonathan, I'm sure Donna saw the temperance card. You showed it a couple of times, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says it doesn't look like moderation. It looks like there's a lot of food on the table.
Oh, yeah, I saw Donna's comment. Yeah, like they were overindulging in things. Mm-hmm. There was like rich dinner, rich dessert, bottle of wine. Yeah, I can see that. So yes, Amber's class. Where is it taking me? Oh, interesting.
I have the version of the Hangman between 2 8s.
I have the King of Wands between the 3 of Swords and 4 of Swords, which is very interesting.
So my central card, there's a lot of power here. This is a very different.
That actually kind of goes with my central card.
Right? It's
oh wow.
Gerald. Gerald, I feel I'm not sure what you're working on in this class, but 3, show me the 3 and 4, Jonathan.
Well, I want to show you my middle card first compared to your middle card.
Okay.
Which is
oh wow. It's
King
like
of Wands.
They're like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It looks like splitting the Red Sea.
Like standing in the flame and being a part of it instead of fearing it.
Say that again. Those were good words.
Being a part of the flame instead of fearing it. So the first card I got, I feel like is talking about where Gerald might be coming from. And it's the Three of Swords. She's got all these thoughts. I mean, they're kind of trying to console her, but at the same time, it's almost like they're weighing her down. There's like a moving truck and keys. So obviously something's happening here where heartbreak and moving on prompted this movement, right? Into the ritual, right? Into being in the class, right? Taking in the light. And then finally being able to rest, right? Even amidst all the chaos and work. So I feel like this class is going to be good for you, Gerald. It's going to give you your power back, right?
I wonder if this is going back to a coven or creating a new circle,
Mhm.
becoming a leader, a teacher yourself. So on either side, again, not all the cards in this as above deck are ritual, but these are all cards of ritual. So these are the eights that are on either side of that power
Yeah.
card. So I feel like Gerald's going to go become a leader, a guide, a teacher.
Mhm. Definitely. A beacon of light in the darkness.
A beacon of light in the darkness. That's what you're going to do, Gerald. Standing in the flame, being the flame rings. Very true for me.
I think this class is going to do good things.
And I think it's going to give you the that drive that may have been lost, or if there has been for some reason, I felt some sense of self-doubt with that Three of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
That you can pick this up and do it again.
Right.
But there's so much strength in those central cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's something being initiated here, some kind of new ritual that's being initiated and shared potentially.
Ooh, I'm getting major chills from that. And this is just also saying that don't let your fears hold you back either.
Yeah.
Words.
Yeah. Okay. So hello, Joseph. Joseph just arrived, and I see
Hi,
Paola. Paola is here, and Susanna Zivic. Hello, welcome. Lady Knight of Avalon. Hello, welcome. Okay.
Speaking some past life stuff, Gerald says.
And Bettina. Hello to Bettina.
So I'm getting a message for Gerald. This is not his first rodeo, and that he's remembering things that he was meant to do. Don't know where that just came from, but it had to come out.
That's beautiful. I love that. Okay. I'm just skipping down here. While reflecting on your reading for me, I really appreciate the idea of releasing the stress of the day.
Filling the cup with spiritual. Mm-hmm.
It's so important. I really find that a lot of us don't have that practice of letting go every day. You know, whether that's through, I don't know, focusing on exhale breath for a minute, or being too busy to take a walk with,
I was about to say, walking the dog always is my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, the letting go part is so very, very important. Yeah. So we'll go to Joel next. So there's 2 questions there, Joel.
Right.
2. So perhaps we will have some intel about when, through seasons or major arcana that appears, but let's focus on what is blocking you from getting a job. Okay? I feel like Gerald was the master wizard.
Still tingling from that energy.
I need to release the thoughts of Gerald and let that go and bring light around Joel as we focus on the practical nature of his question. And not necessarily practical, right? These can be very deep underlying causes. So what is preventing Joel from moving forward, getting a job?
So what is blocking? I have the four of chalices. So it's like life's trying to get your attention. You're too busy relaxing. But then the middle card, I got the 8 of Wands, which is interesting because it looks like she's got a chalice in front of her. And summoning this ribbon of fiery power to go out, right? And then the last card I got was Judgment, which is a very interesting judgment because here you see someone who's doing a ritual in front of their goddess altar, right? And beseeching, right? So it's almost like you're not doing the work because you're so busy sending out the energy in hopes that the divine will help guide you. So I think part of it is instead of just hoping, get up, start moving, start like taking the steps instead of just trying to summon it to you, start taking steps towards it as well. That way, as you're pulling and walking towards it, you get closer that way versus just staying still and hoping that someone will hand it to you. Right?
Interesting.
A lot of dreaming, but not a lot of action is what that boils down
to. B. I feel like I'm looking at a Titan here. Sorry, I'm looking at 2 cards here, Joel, that one, the water is coming in through the crown chakra, and one, the light is coming in through the crown chakra, filling you up. But like Jonathan was saying, you have to do something with it. So you have to go forth. You have to. The 4th card I have is the equivalent of the Emperor card. And it looks a lot like a Chariot card. There's so much light and gold. I'm going to show you here. It's called the God. But doesn't it look like a Chariot card with those 2 wolves at the front?
2 wolves, yeah.
And he's got the light coming in behind and above, the moon and the sun.
Yeah.
You know, we're saying like, go forth and conquer, great Titan.
So I just had an urge to look at the bottom of the deck, and I got the fourth card's the Hanged Man, just to confirm that Joel seems to just be hanging there. Of course, this Hanged Man's doing yoga, so maybe that is the key. Just start doing something in the physical realm. Yoga, taking walks, just to get things flowing, right?
I wonder if you are listening to if you're being receptive, or what do I want to say? I wonder if your antenna are picking up what's coming in. I feel like you're not picking up what's being laid out. Because I've got this sense of there's an abundance of input, but you're not doing anything with it. So I've got this card again, right? Which feels like an abundance of input in the dream world. This is the 9 of water. And look at how the water is pouring in, right? There's a lot of
crown chakra
energy flowing in. And then we have lots of energy flowing in here.
I have lots of energy flowing with this 8 of Wands.
So is that flowing in or is it flowing out? You were thinking it was flowing out.
I was thinking it was flowing out, but with you talking about flowing in, I could see it going either way, really. But with this, it just makes me think that it's the energy of the prayer.
Okay, so two things. One, get a journal beside your bed or a piece of paper and a pen and make sure you're writing down the things that you are receiving. To be out quietly in nature, no earbuds, no nothing, just spend some time, because I feel like there's an abundance of messages available to you that you're not picking up on. So to create an experience in your day, in your week, where you're actually listening to a higher power.
Oh, that's interesting. In both of these, the people have their eyes closed, even though there's all this stuff and energy and like offerings around them.
If you were to give,
their eyes are closed, including the Hanged Man, all 4.
So, Jonathan, if you were to give somebody a tip on how to be a better receptacle for spiritual messages.
One thing is meditation is very important. Being able to still the mind so that you're open and receptive. Because if your brain's going constantly, how is there any room for anything new to get in there? And meditation isn't always just, like sitting Om. It could be going for a walk on the beach. It could be walking in the forest. It could be, going to the gym and lifting weights. Some people find that very meditative. Whatever it is that works for you is, if you get into that mind state where your thoughts are not like running rampant and you can be still for a minute, that moment of stillness is where you open to receive.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was saying, like, when you go for a walk, no earbuds, be present, right? Be present with what is being offered. Yeah, it feels like listening is really important. And in the 3-dimensional perspective, even like maybe taking a class or a course in communication skills, that never hurts anybody, right?
Oh, I get better at communicating. That's so horrible.
Yes. It's funny. People are still talking about Gerald. I have to laugh. I lost it. Dumbledore. There's a Dumbledore comment about about.
Oh, Colleen, I see it. Just had an image of Gerald as Dumbledore, headmaster at Hogwarts.
Okay.
I could see that.
All right. I would like to shuffle and pull one card each for the collective and leave everybody with a final message. I want to just acknowledge where the moon is right now. I'm just going to go to my thing. So the moon is still in Leo. The moon is waning. And in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in a time of waning, where for those of you in a Southern Hemisphere, you're in a time of waxing, of opening in life. So for me, it's really important always to take these collective messages in perspective to the external energy as well too, right? So everybody just take a moment, close your eyes, uncross your legs, uncross your arms. If you can lie down, take a few deep breaths. And as Jonathan and I shuffle and draw a final card for the collective, invite yourself to be open and receptive to this message. As always, we ask these messages be in the highest for the greatest good and that no harm be done. So be it.
And so it is. Wow. So this is not what I usually picture for the Nine of Wands, but again, I'm getting a totally different message from this Nine of Wands that I get from most Nine of Wands. So here we see lighting her candles, getting ready for ritual. So this is calling on all of us to be the light in the darkness, to light as many of our own candles as we can, to be ready to do the ritual that the goddess calls on us, to use all of our tools and to truly just help balance our lives and those around us. Right? So I love that there's 9 candles for the wands, right?
Mm-hmm. My cards just flew everywhere. Okay.
I actually had a jumper too.
I had like three. I had 3 or 4.
Palaces reversed, which is interesting. So get out of your head, start lighting those candles, and start getting ready. I feel like ritual season is upon us. Very Halloweeny colors too here.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I love this card. Wow, I really like this card. This is the Mother of Water.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Look at this.
Wow.
I feel like this is a perfect balance between the fire and the water.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Oh, wow. Fire and water just balanced.
Hello, Amber. And notice how the water card is receiving.
Mm-hmm. And the fire is giving.
And doesn't that generally speak to this? Do you
and active.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? So it speaks to balance, but I feel. Well, you pick the one that you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
You choose your medicine. Always choose your medicine, but choose your medicine in balance.
Right.
And
Temperance.
temperance. We can't forsake one for the other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here. I just want to, before we close, on Tuesday, Jonathan and I are going to be back on with some friends. Jonathan, do you want to tell what's happening on
Yeah,
Tuesday
so
on the channel?
on Tuesday it's going to be on my channel, and it's going to be Sadhana and Masha. I don't think Amber's going to be able to make it, but I know Sadhana and Masha will be there as well as myself, and we're going to be discussing the 5 elements from a Chinese point of view. So instead of just focusing on the 4 elements of the Western thought, we're going to discuss the 5 elements of Eastern thought. So Tuesday, 8 a.m. my time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific, I believe.
Yes.
And 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
And then
So
2
Paul,
hours after that, I'll be on Gerald's channel, and we'll be discussing different forms of quartz crystals.
nice. The same day.
Same day. Mhm.
Same day. I have 4 lives that day.
I thought 2 was a lot.
Tuesday's my busy day.
Yeah.
Hello, Amber Rose. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being here today. It's always a privilege. And I also want to say that I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing your questions as well, too. I know it takes a lot to put yourselves out there. So take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you all very soon on one or both of our channels. Namaste.
Aloha.